Hey guys, Monochrome here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. Genuinely good to have you. Today we're taking a look at a classic. This is the Kershaw Silver Spur II, reference model 2825. As usual, guys, there will be some specs in the description box below. Be sure to check that out when the video is over. First, I do have to mention that this little guy, well, first of all, these handles are not made out of silver. Although, I have to say, as someone who does have some experience with silver, yes, I do. If you didn't know that these handles weren't silver, you would swear they are. I mean, this is... Kershaw back in the day did an excellent job with these handle scales. They look and feel as though they are silver. And this little guy would be very expensive if they were. But no, this is aluminum. Although again, wow, back in the day, Kershaw did an amazing job making these look and feel like silver handle scales. And unfortunately, that's one of the things. This little guy is discontinued and has been discontinued for quite a few years upon years. You can still usually find them in varying conditions on eBay for right around $50 for an excellent example like mine. And yeah, if you like what you see, personally, I think it's worth getting. Now, the thing that makes this the Silver Spur II is the fact that it's longer in length than the original. There's the blade shape. And back in the day, this was an absolutely excellent, minimalist, very small, possibly even keychain carry EDC knife. You do have a top lock or traditional rocker lock, and it is quite strong. Now, the blade on my sample does open quite easily, but when I close it, I have to be careful because, oh yeah, this thing snaps shut with authority. You'd think it wouldn't, but it does. That is very impressive. So watch your fingers. Cutting edge length is 2 inches. So thankfully, due to that and the overall very small size, this should be street legal in a lot of jurisdictions, assuming you want to carry it. This is a discontinued model again, and it does have a bit of collector interest. Not a lot, but a bit, especially if you're like me and you're a Kershaw fanboy. However, as usual, even though I am a Kershaw fanboy, for those of you who have seen my other Kershaw reviews on my channel, you know that when Kershaw screws up, yeah, I don't pretend they didn't. I tell it like it is, even with my absolute favorite knife brand out of all of them. There's the blade shape. Unfortunately, it is a bit symmetrical, but again, due to the very short length and the small overall size, it probably won't cause you too many problems in most jurisdictions. Again, I'm just being realistic. If you encounter a very obnoxious officer and he's like, oh, that's a folding dirk, I'm going to confiscate it, and yeah, here's a massive fine for you. Watch out for that. But I seriously doubt most officers finding something like this on a routine search are going to make a big deal about it. Then again, you never know. You might encounter a rogue officer, or you might encounter one who's having a bad day and he takes it out on you. So just keep that in mind. Now, this is not some cheaply made Taiwan or made in China junk knife. No. Not sure if you can see that. Japan. That's right. A Japanese-made Kershaw. This is a quality knife. Japanese-made. As you can see, there's a bit of a false edge on the top, obviously unsharpened, but that just looks really nice, especially in real life up close. Nail nick opener on one side. This is not a one-hander. As for the aluminum handle scales that look silver, yes, there are a couple of hot spots down here especially. You do get a lanyard hole. Now, you're not going to be putting 550 cord through that, not even gutted 550 cord. But yeah, you can get some cordage through there. And again, unfortunately, a couple of hot spots, especially on the bottom of the handle. Now, this is a 3-finger knife, which is a little surprising, especially for something that's still small enough that realistically this would fit on a key ring. Again, not a one-hander, but something this small, this thin, and heck, I'll say it, this good looking. No reason to try to one-hand it. Now, some people might say, well, what are you going to do with something that small? I mean, if you live in a very restrictive jurisdiction, and I don't mean London where you can't even have a lock feature because that's considered something that makes a utility folding knife into a weapon instead of a safety feature, which is what that is, so the blade won't snap shut on your fingers. But outside of London, outside of the UK, this is going to be very useful in a lot of jurisdictions that actually are restrictive. So this is something, I'll say this, in a very restrictive jurisdiction, don't put this on your keyring, especially if you wear the keyring outside of a pocket, maybe dangling from a belt loop. Yeah. This is not gonna blend in with most keys. Even though the color seems to be right, it is gonna stand out just a bit. So in the most restrictive jurisdictions, this is something you toss into a pocket. Again, yeah, down here, a little sharp down there. And this can be very useful for quite a few different things. I mean, especially with winter, imagine being outside, you realize, oh crap, I don't have the right level of fluids underneath the hood of my car. So you go out, you buy some extreme weather windshield washer fluid, and you're standing there in the freezing cold trying to get the thing open. You get it open, and there's that little piece of silver foil on top, and you're like, oh, I gotta punch through this. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to do that while wearing gloves. So it's like, ah, crap, I gotta take my gloves off. You take your gloves off, you try to use your finger. Yeah, that doesn't work, does it, guys? No, no, it doesn't. And for the strong, independent ladies out there, let's face it, you really don't want to use a fingernail. You don't. They, mm, they make that little cover underneath the cap. Ooh, it does not want to tear or rip open. Well, if you got something like this in a pocket, okay, using it with gloves on is still going to be an issue, but you can take your gloves off, reach for something like this, open it easily, cut into the top, get that thing out of there, close this up, toss it back into a pocket, and start tossing that fluid in there. I mean, I actually had an unfortunate similar experience many years ago as a younger man with my previous car. I was driving through an unfortunate winter storm. There were cars in front of me because I was on side roads, and they were tossing up dirty freaking snow that was on the ground, gray snow and sludge onto my windshield. And it's like, well, I got no choice. I'm heading to work. I'm taking side roads. I got these cars in front of me. No choice. And all of a sudden, crap. My windshield washer reservoir actually ran out. We're talking completely empty, and I was using it constantly. So it's like, okay, I'm using it constantly. I'm turning on my wipers. It runs out. I'm like, okay, let me just bear through it, get to work. I'll clean off my windshield then. I'll take care of the problem later. No, later became immediately, because I mean, some of that salt, sludge, gray snow, and all that other crap hitting my windshield without any windshield washer fluid to basically get it wet. Yeah, it started drying on my windshield using my wipers. And after a while, it's like, I'm making the situation worse. Let me just pull over. And as soon as I saw a gas station right next to my lane, I pulled over because my windshield was completely covered in a thin layer of sludge and gray snow. It was horrible. And I was putting my life in danger, other people's lives in danger, because I couldn't see out of my freaking windshield. So, yeah. I pulled over, nearest gas station, bought some extreme winter-rated windshield washer fluid, took the cap off, and ooh, there's that little silver-colored cover that needs to be removed. Well, heck, I'm not punching through it with these fingers. I'm a human being, not a vampire or an animal. I don't have actual claws. And yeah, so I pulled out my EDC knife. No, it was not this one. Yes, it was bigger than this one, but I pulled out my EDC knife. I cut open the top of that darn thing. I poured as much of it as my car back then could handle in the reservoir, and then I continued driving. Again, using my windshield washer fluid and my wipers constantly until I got to work. So, yeah, but I didn't need a huge honkin' fixed blade knife. I didn't even need a medium sized EDC knife. I could have gotten that job done with something like this, and especially with that nice needle like tip. Oh, yeah, absolutely perfect for that particular job. So this or something similar would have come in extremely handy. And yeah, I'm just glad I was able to take care of it. But guys, sorry about that. If you like what you're seeing, you can usually find the discontinued Kershaw Silver Spur II on eBay. That's where I found mine. And again, right around $50 for one in excellent condition like this one. And I just really need to emphasize, I am really impressed with these handle scales. In real life, they look and feel like genuine silver. Very nicely done. Guys, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you soon. Please stay safe out there. Oh yeah, it's definitely still dangerous. Take care.